think the biggest problem that we all face is that we are incredibly delusional about how long things take and how short things take. And we're really missing the mark as people, and we really sort of forget about a lot of things that we could do that is incredibly cool, and yet we don't do those things. We've got two ends of either side, that things take a lot longer than you think they're ever going to take, and the other side is things take a lot shorter than you ever think. And I want to talk about that. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Masek. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward to help you out. You know, one of the major problems that we see with, retirement planning, people sort of getting to the point in their career where they want to sort of take a little bit of time off, is the fact that people think that they're going to wait at some point in the future, and at some point in the future they're going to have an enormous amount of money that they can start saving. But what most people don't realize is that's not the way that this stuff typically works. Yes, you can make more money the older you are, and so lots of people wait until they're 50 or whatever to start retiring or start thinking about retirement. But what you need to realize is that you're competing against what's called compound interest, and this is the accumulation of interest on things, on interest is basically what it is. So something might gather interest 1 year. So you have $1, and in a year you make 15 cents on that dollar based on interest, or however you're investing it. So then that following year you have $1.15 that is going to have interest on. And so you're going to have interest on that $1.15, and it grows over time. It takes a long time for it to grow, but once you get to the point where it's actually substantial, it actually doesn't take that long for it to grow quite rapidly, and it's quite surprising when you look at this over time. And so people miss the boat, and they don't think about their long-term perspective and what they're going to do. But on the opposite side is that we misunderstand how short things can be, or how long we can do things, or we what I'm trying to get at here is we think that something is going to take a very short time to actually get there, and there's all sorts of effects on this in terms of understanding myopia and things like that. But we think that we can rapidly get to a certain point very quickly. So for example, in terms of an innovation project, or any project that you're working on, we believe that it's going to be very quick to get there, right? We think that if we work on this thing, something is going to net profitable returns, or net returns in a year or two. But in reality, if you look at that, it's actually really more realistically a decade or two where you actually get any returns of doing something that is innovative. And so people look at that and they assume, man, it's going to go quick, and something quick is going to happen. And when they work on it and nothing quick happens, they get frustrated and they quit, and they stop that particular thing, and they never pursue that thing again. And we need to take a step back and say, hey, instead of thinking about these things kind of in a mutual exclusive way, we need to start thinking about how can we do both in a meaningful way? How can we pursue things where we could do something that is long-term, and that is going to take a long time, but at the same time save, for retirement, be okay, get to the point where things miraculously happen at the end, right? Because what you need to do is get past that hump of with retirements, and then you're going to feel this way if you're saving. Any of you are at the stage where you're saving for retirement when you start out, it seems like nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. But it's this sort of compounding effect of day in and day out that you actually get some miraculous things. And it's not until maybe about a decade or so where you start seeing something happening. And it's the same thing that you're doing with an innovation project or something. Maybe you're starting a company, or maybe you're writing a book, or any large-scale thing. You look at it, and when you start it, the first day you start writing that book, you have a paragraph, and you're like, man, how am I ever going to do this thing? But you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And pretty soon you have 30 pages, and then you have 50 pages, and it grows, and it repeatedly grows on each other. And I know that this is something that people sort of don't understand and don't get, but it is very much a slow process. But when it happens at the end, things happen quite quickly, and things seem to click pretty quickly, a lot faster than you think it's actually going to happen. And we always misperceive on how quick that actually happens, and we think that, man, I wish we would have done that thing a long time ago, and I wish we would have did that really innovative, cool thing that I wanted to do, whatever that is, starting up your own little side project, or writing a book, or whatever, saving for retirement. People look at it and they say, I should have done that. And yet, really, they didn't do it. And so we have to be cognizant of the fact that we're not good at understanding how quickly things happen once you've done it for a long time at a certain point, but also how long and how much effort and how difficult it actually is to do something early on and keep doing it, because it's all a mind game. In your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to get there, it's going to happen, it's going to be today, it's going to be today. But it never happens today. That's not the way it works. It's never the one thing that sort of puts it all together. You can have, you can create your book and it goes viral. Well, it goes viral temporarily and you sell 30,000 books. But then the next day, you realize you have to figure out a way to do this all over again, and do it again, and do it again, because that's what it takes to actually build. Whether it's a following, a book following, or build anything, you need to have that constant thing coming in, constant revenue, constant whatever coming in, where it's growing slowly but surely, day in and day out. I know it's not what a lot of people want to hear, but it's actually the reality of these things, and we have to be okay with the fact that that's what it actually takes. Now, think about this, right? So as if you were a farmer, you might be out in the field, and you might be wishing for this crop to come in. You plant some seeds, and you're wishing for this crop to come in, and you're wishing, and nothing's going to happen in the day, in the moment. You're going to look at those seedlings growing, and nothing's going to happen. But over a long, long time, things happen, and it looks amazing when it does happen. And you just simply have to have patience. You simply have to have a long-term perspective, and you simply have to treat things as if in the short term you need to do things that will allow you to get to the long term. So hopefully this gets you to think about things in a different way, and allows you to do innovative things, but as well as think about your long-term perspective and think about where you're going to be when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.